Staff Rahill has command, folks. Staff Rahill has command.
Staff Sergeant Brian Rahill made some of the first decisions the night the mass shootings began, directing officers and setting up containment to try to catch the gunman. Sergeant Andy O'Brien was also in a critical role.
Hold off on the second team. I only want one team in there if we can avoid having anybody else in the crossfire.
Now, the Mass Casualty Commission examining the shooting says neither will be required to provide live testimony before the public. Instead, their statements will be recorded on video and played back later. And lawyers representing the families will not be allowed to cross-examine the officers.
They're setting us in the corner, we're sitting on our hands, and we're on mute. We have no voice.
The police union and Canada's Attorney General requested even further accommodation, that the officers provide their evidence in writing only. The commission sought a middle ground because part of its mandate is to use a trauma-informed approach.
A trauma-informed approach does not excuse someone from testifying, but rather seeks to create conditions that will ensure the ability to provide the best evidence.
This trauma-informed thing, I mean, the only people they seem to want to protect is what information goes to the public. Like, the families have already been traumatized as far as they're going to get. We want information.
Family lawyers will be able to suggest some questions for inquiry lawyers, but say that's not good enough when it comes to some of the most integral witnesses.
We keep being reminded that this is not a court, but we can look at the courts, and some of our most traumatic victims that come before the court are child witnesses that have been the victims of very traumatic experiences, and the court is able to accommodate them.
The officers' recorded interviews will take place next week. It's unclear when the public will get to see them. Kayla, Hounsell, CBC News, Halifax.